Chris Noel. Get lovin'. Get laughin'.
Swimming in the West.
Get happy. Get yourself a college girl.
We just heard the trailer to the 1964 teen flick, Get Yourself a College Girl. One of the actresses in that movie was Chris Noel, who's making her return to the Pop Shop this week. We'll have to pull up an extra stool for her. And Chris, you know, the last time you were here, I was chastised because I forgot to ask you about a couple of actors that you worked with. So before we get into talking about your new book, A Blonde Bomb Goes to Vietnam, I wonder if I can ask you about a couple of your movies.
Okay.
Well, last time we talked about Soldier in the Rain from 1963 and working with Steve McQueen, but everybody wants to know about Jackie Gleason.
Oh, well, you can read about those in another book I'm almost finished writing.
Oh, okay.
I've almost finished a book about Steve McQueen and Soldier in the Rain and Jackie Gleason.
Oh, good. Well, I know he had a reputation for being difficult. Did you have a good experience with him or a bad experience with him?
Okay, nothing anyway. I don't know. He didn't seem to be real happy, and neither did Steve. In fact, I was talking to somebody last night, and they were telling me that Martin Gero had written a book, and he wrote that Blake Edwards actually was going to direct the film. And it seems that Martin Gero prided himself on the fact that he put together great teams, so he always had magic because he put together teams that worked together and really worked on film. And evidently, he was very disappointed when Blake Edwards decided he wasn't going to direct it, but he was going to do another one of his Pink Panther projects. And in it, he said apparently Steve McQueen lost interest in the film when that happened. But it was still a good film.
Yeah.
It took years for it to come out. I mean, I couldn't believe it was just a few months ago when all of a sudden it came out on Turner Classics. I was so shocked.
I just love being out here.
This is living. Really living. Sure isn't dying.
And the other movie I neglected to mention the last time you were on was The Glory Stompers from 1967 and working with Dennis Hopper.
Oh, my gosh. I can't believe you mentioned it because I started a book on Dennis, too.
Oh, we're hitting all the bases
It sounds
here.
crazy, Justin. I can't believe you mentioned those two things because I never told you this.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. Yes, actually, I wrote a fabulous book about Dennis Hopper and the Glory Stompers. In fact, when it comes out, it's going to be the best of all my books.
Wow, you think so, huh?
Oh, I know so. I know what's in there.
He might have been the biggest character that you worked with, huh?
I absolutely loved him. Of course he was. He was different from anybody. I never knew what kind of an experience I was going to encounter. One time he came to pick me up in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and picks me up in a pickup truck to take me to dinner someplace. And he says, "Oh, I've got bullet holes in this. I just got shot at in this truck." And I never did understand why he was shot at, but he did. He had bullet holes in the truck.
Well,
I'm glad he didn't get them when I was there.
Yeah. Well, that's a heck of a date or dinner or whatever that was.
Oh, I know. He was something. You never knew what to expect with him. Never knew which eye he was on and where he was. But he was fascinating. He used to tell me the best stories, great stories. And, most men don't talk about hardly anything except ball games.
Right.
But he knew his art when I would be in New York, and he would take me to art galleries. He was talking about different artists, and he knew all the wonderful artists of the 60s. He knew them all because he had enough money where he could buy some of their art.
Mm-hmm.
And he was really quite the artist. The one thing that he said that he really wanted to do was that he says, "I think one of the finest art forms we have are billboards, particularly here in Los Angeles on the Sunset Strip." And he'd say, he'd look up and he'd say, "Look at that billboard. Look at that fabulous art on that billboard. What I'd like to do is get a huge warehouse and start collecting some of this art from these billboards. Just look at that."
The Glory Stompers. Riding for glory. Loving for glory. Stomping for glory. The wildest, the roughest of all sickle gangs.
Well, take your mama down to Mexico, man, and sell her, and we'll all make a lot of money.
She's my old lady.
Now you just go out and buy yourself another old lady, man.
Keep clear of the stompers. Killers on wheels. The Glory Stompers.
The director of Glory Stompers said that he felt that Dennis was always trying to give him a heart attack. But I don't know. I liked working with Dennis. I mean, his character, he was kind of a maniac, and so he played his character. And a couple of scenes, he scared me half to death. But it was good because I was good.
Yeah.
I mean, I was very real in my reactions to taking a gun and sticking it in my face and various things. But he was very soft-spoken, and I thought he was a very sexy guy and very, very interesting and a true artist.
Hey, listen to me. Listen to me.
Just leave me alone.
Hey, look, man. Hey, listen. We're gonna get a doctor to help your old man, all right?
You killed him. You killed him!
Okay, listen to me. Listen to me. You're gonna ride with me.
Strange days have found us.
We're talking with actress Chris Noel this week on the Vintage Rock and Pop Shop, and she's just put out a great new book about her experiences entertaining the troops in Vietnam. It's called A Blonde Bomb Goes to Vietnam, and it's kind of a scrapbook. I mean, there are great photos and stories and reprints of news articles. It's a treasure trove of stuff. How did this all come together?
Well, I have a graphic artist who's my very, very good friend. Every project I ever do, he's involved in it. His name is Kirk Kimball. He asked me one day, how was my DVD going? Because I was working on a DVD, and I said, frankly, I've given up. I can't find anybody to help me. I can't do it by myself. And I just flat given up, and he looked right at me. He says, I will help you. I said, you'll help me? That was our first project together. So he helped me do my DVD that I did, Blonde Bombshell, and then we started working on books. We took my old book that I did, my very first book in the 80s, called Matter of Survival, because at that time I felt really burned out with PTSD and not knowing what was wrong with me.
Yeah, you talk about that in your books, that you got post-traumatic stress disorder from your experiences in Vietnam, and that was at a time when nobody was even talking about that.
I mean, I could even see it in my eyes when I would have interviews and stuff, and I could see footage back and stuff, and I could look at my eyes, and I'd go, wow, look at my eyes. I don't like the look that's in my eyes. I've lost my spark. I've lost that thing that I had. Fortunately, I'm older now, and I've gotten it all back. I've become a lot younger, interesting enough. Maybe because I have so many interests in my life that it's made me younger, plus my genes and et cetera. But for a while there, I had almost like dead eyes, just like a lot of the Vietnam vets did. I used to always say I could always tell the guys who were in combat. I could always tell by the death stare in their eyes. So, Matter of Survival, I would go on the internet and I'd look and see it was selling for $278, and if you could even get a copy of it. And I didn't have but one or two copies, and people are always asking me for it because, frankly, it's a very, very good book. Mm-hmm. It's a really good book because I document post-traumatic stress disorder, Agent Orange, and I talk about women, how they were used on the radio in wars.
Right.
Different people. And I talk about Hanoi Jane, which is Trader Jane Fonda. And I really document a lot of stuff that's in that book. And so we turned that book into a new book. It's now called Vietnam and Me, and added more pictures to it. And then I got on Facebook. For the first year and a half, I never went on Facebook. I didn't understand it. I didn't know what it was, and I didn't want anything to do with it. Mm-hmm. Then I started playing with it a little bit, and I started finding people I knew, and I go, wow, I wonder what happened to that person. This is cool. And then I really enjoying it. So we put information on that if you happen to have been in Vietnam, you had any photographs of me, and you'd like to be in a new book I'm working on, please send me the photographs. So guys started sending me photographs, and they did exactly what I wanted. When they sent the photographs, they said where the photograph was taken. With the Fourth Infantry Division, or with the 199th, or with Big Red One, or whatever, and actually would mention their camps and stuff, and I went, cool, this is exactly what I wanted, because I had pictures and didn't know where they were. All I knew was that they were in Vietnam, and I frankly got tired of people saying, well, in the beginning it used to be, oh, you didn't go to Vietnam, women didn't go to Vietnam. Mm-hmm. Then it was, oh, you went to Vietnam, well, you probably just went to Saigon. So the reason I liked this was because I could really document the places that I went to in Vietnam with these cool pictures the guys sent me that I had never seen before. I have a really good itinerary from one of my trips so you could see where I went, the different camps I went to, and different places. And then I have, like, I put in the map from the 1st Infantry Division, which was the entire scope of South Vietnam. Mm-hmm. I think that the people who are going to like this book are the most are the people who were in Vietnam. You know, Confessions of a Pinup is really a good book for people who wanted to look and see pictures from the 60s movies that I did and the TV shows, right, and go, oh, I remember that actor and I remember that show and that sort of thing, and did some of the Vietnam stuff, but this one is really all Vietnam. I happen to have it in front of me, so I just happened to go through a page, and it's like a big article with big title, and it goes, Go with Chris Noel, right, with the guys looking, and I'm got my hand in a guy's hand, and I'm talking to, I don't know, I'm probably singing to him.
Billy, thank you for the truth you've let me see. Billy, thank you for the facts from A to Z. My life was torn like windblown sand. Then a rock was formed when we held hands. Billy once said to you, I love you.
I love those men. I love them. I love them today. I have a shelter, and it's called Vetsville Ceasefire House in Boynton Beach. It's my shelter for homeless veterans. I've had it for 20 years. They could go to vetsville.org. It's like Veterans Village. Vetsville. V-E-T-S, short for veterans. Vetsville, like a village. V-I-L-L-E. The reason I spell it out is because people always spell it wrong.
So everybody, that's vetsville.org. And, of course, you can also catch up with Chris Noel at chrisnoel.com. You can also get the books at amazon.com. Chris, I know you're based in Florida, but when are you coming up here to this area?
I'm going to Staten Island for VVA group in Staten Island. It's their 25th anniversary and the 25th anniversary of their Vietnam veteran statue that they built. And I'm going to go and I'm going to speak at their event. Now that would be on going on the July 12th. That would be on July the 13th, 10 a.m. on Staten Island, and then I'm going into the city for 3 days.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chris, thanks so much for coming on this week, and you're always such a joy to talk to, and I want to tell you this. Anytime you've got anything that you're doing, any book or anything you want to talk about, you feel free to just come on here and talk about it.
You'll get tired of me.
Never. Well, thank you so much, and you have a great day.
And you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Sunny, yesterday my life was filled with rain.